football fans, let's have a quick chat about the Premier League title race, because things are starting to really get interesting and heated up around especially the top of the Premier League, where champions Liverpool are staking a claim to retain their title they won unexpectedly this year. Unexpectedly because Manchester City and even Arsenal were favourites going into the last season, but they took the title. I think everything aligned in their favour. But this year things are starting to get really interesting, and we're going to be talking about what the early signs are showing, the dynamics of the first couple of games, and then of course we'll look into a bit of Mikel Arteta's dilemma around squad management and all the other interesting stuff going on around the world of soccer. So if you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button and leave a like on the video, and let's get right into it. Okay, so this is game week 5. As at the time of recording of this video, Manchester City versus Arsenal. Arsenal Manchester City is yet to be played, but a few things are starting to look very obvious. And one of them is that Liverpool are going to be very heavy contenders to retain their title. They've won their 5th game in 5. And even though they conceded a lot of goals along the way, people are talking about how they're not able to keep a clean sheet and all of that stuff. But it's clear that they're definitely going to be in contention. They're going to be one of the strongest contenders to win the Premier League title this season. And the way they are going, they might also continue to go on the run. They are still unbeaten. And there's a very big chance Liverpool will win the title at the end of the season. There's also Arsenal, who have arguably the deepest squad. In fact, in my opinion, this Arsenal team is the biggest, or deep since the Invincibles. This is the deepest Arsenal squad ever. And I'm not even too sure the Invincibles had a deeper strength in depth as much as this team. I can say their first 11 can arguably be better than this Arsenal first 11. But if you look at the overall squad depth, I'll give it to this current Arsenal team. What that means is that Arsenal have a very good chance of also winning the Premier League title and making a statement in the Champions League, if not even winning it. But what are the things that really stand out right now? One of them is that Arteta has no excuses at all. This season, he must make a difference. He has to win this title, or at least the Champions League, or show us that he's right up there. And then, of course, pick up silverware, be the FA Cup, the League Cup, and the rest of them. But it's going to be very interesting, because between now and December, when most other teams will have played, we'll start to see, who is really going to stand out. In my opinion, I think it will be a 2-horse race between Arsenal and Liverpool. Manchester City will be in it at some point, and at some point I think they're going to just drop off. But let me know your thoughts on the predictions. Again, who do you have winning the title? Is it going to be Arsenal, or is it going to be Liverpool? In my opinion, I think it will go down right to the wire, the very last day, and I favor Arsenal to nick it. A lot of these things will depend on injuries. Again, we can see how much injuries play a role in Arsenal losing out on the title race last season. So I hope everything, again, if injuries happen to, say, for example, Liverpool, Arsenal are in a better position to recover, because as we speak, Arsenal are without Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, even Captain Martin Odegaard, and of course, Saliba is just recovering. But with all of these high-profile players being injured, it's almost like nothing has changed. Business as usual. They're still, going strong, and that's what squad depth really does to a team. So Arsenal are really benefiting from that right now. So let me know your prediction on who's going to win the title at the end of the season. The other thing is squad management. Right now, we're starting to see what is going on. If you start to spend money the way Arsenal is spending, or Arsenal are spending, you start to realize what big teams like Real Madrid have to experience in managing, big players. See what is happening to Trent Alexander-Arnold at Madrid. High profile standing from Liverpool last season, but now he can hardly even hold down his shirt. He doesn't seem to be the preferred right back in Madrid right now. And just like what has happened with almost every Arsenal player that has moved to a big team. For example, like Arsenal have sold a couple of players to Barcelona in the past. Case in point, Alexander Song. He was a very established player of the Arsenal hierarchy, doing very well. He went to Barcelona, and before you know what's up, they didn't sign him obviously to be a starter. They signed him to be a squad player, and within a year or two, his career practically ended. Same thing with Alexander Leb, and that's what's about to happen to Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's probably going to stay there a couple of years. He might not lock down his position, and then he'll leave. Same thing is happening also to Rodrigo at Madrid. At the moment, he doesn't appear to be the favorite to start. He's just in and out of the team. He hardly ever starts in Madrid right now. And it's what I call the big club problem, the big team problem, where you're a good player, you're a big player, but if you must play in a team like Madrid or Barcelona, then you may not be the favorite to start games. Even Thierry Henry, when he moved to Barcelona, he was a centre forward, always started at Arsenal, got to Barcelona, and they basically just said you have to play on the left wing, and that was it. There was the likes of Ronaldinho, they were the likes of Samuel and Lionel Messi. He couldn't really just displace them. He had to take what was available. So why am I saying all of this? William Saliba, I'm hearing lots of conversations around Saliba, versus Mosquera, who is the preferred player. A couple of weeks now, Saliba has been injured and Mosquera has been doing the job. And you see among Arsenal fans, there's a lot of division about who is even better. Some even believe that Mosquera at this point is starting to lock down that position. And Arteta has to be very conscious of that and make sure he manages the squad very well, gives everybody a fair chance to play, so that we don't have too many disgruntled first team players, and then we start to get interest from other clubs trying to take them away. So that's one of the issues that come with being a big club. You have players who are big who may not always have the opportunity to start games, and it is normal. And that's not Arteta himself, especially because he's probably not used to this sort of being sport for choice. Almost every single game, the conversation is about who is going to start. Even in Odegaard's position, we have potential players that can come in, the likes of Eze, and now also Merino and Waneri now. So all of these things mean Arteta has to be very careful and manage his squad efficiently. So that's all discussion for today. Please leave a like in the video. Let me know your thoughts on who you predict to win the Premier League title down below in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.